Hi guys, it's Matt here from the Forex Coach. I recorded a live trade this morning and unfortunately I've made the mistake of not having my microphone switched on. So although I had the red light on my microphone on, the recording software, unfortunately it was set to mute. So unfortunately I've got a 10-minute video with no recording of sound. So what I'm going to do is just quickly go over now the trade and the reason for the entry and exit. So just what I do is I talk you through what happened and how the trade occurred and what the analysis behind it was. So this morning I had one of my indicators which I've designed to alert me to let me know that there was the potential for a short on the Dax. So you can see here this red arrow here just indicating for me to get ready for a potential short. So what I always do when I get these is, first of all, look at the high time frame analysis to decide whether that trade is a possibility or not. So what I was looking at the time was the 4-hour chart, and as you can see here, the price was just up here. So for me, it was within this price envelope, and there was still negative momentum on here. Although the histogram and the CMO was kind of the oversold position, for me it was the first push up that we had, and I was looking for a blip back down. Now all I was looking for was an exit around about here, around about this lower price envelope and this 50-period moving average down here. So what I was doing was monitoring the 5-minute chart for that. So I entered the trade here. It was actually up here, but by the time I put on spread, so it just come down, closed this candle here, and then started to bounce up. So at the time I entered, this candle was green, and I went in short. Now it had the blip down to this moving average, the 50 period, and I said that was going to be my first exit. Now my original target was all the way down here, as I said before, but what actually happened was it then had a bounce, and the conflict that I had was on the hourly chart, because the momentum was still very positive on the hourly chart, so there was always the possibility that this trade could keep pushing higher. And the other thing, on the 4-hour chart, we still hadn't hit this 21-period moving average, so there was always a possibility that we could come back up and hit this 21-period moving average, this blue line here. So I was bearing that in mind, and what I'd done was I adjusted the stop loss down originally and then just moved it slightly higher, so just so it was above this price envelope, because again with price action there's always a possibility that it comes back up, tags this price envelope and then moves back down, and what I didn't want to happen was to just get picked out for it to then move lower. Now my normal exit condition would be for this CMO to kind of get around the -100 and have this negative histogram. Now what actually happened was the 4-hour bar closed, and it hadn't really had an aggressive push down from me, so it was quite a positive close on this 4-hour bar, and what I was looking for was a bit more of a negative shooting star maybe, or something like that on this 4-hour chart. Now I knew at this point there was always a possibility it still might come down to this lower price envelope and then push higher. It could break through and keep going, I just don't know, but these trades, you know, the day trades, they're just based on probability and what your experience with price action is. So I made the decision, because I had the negative histogram, although I hadn't come down here low enough yet, I made the decision to get out on this candle here. And again with spread, I think my exit about here, but with spread, you know, it gave me my exit up here. So from here, you know, it could keep pushing lower and keep going down, and you know, may even go down sort of down to this sort of zone. But for me, you know, it was a good enough trade, a small profit on that one. I think I made about 60 pounds on it, which off a £2,000 account, which all I'm using here for these sort of little day trades that I'm doing and sort of recording, and that was good enough for me. So yeah, just a small trade there. If you want to watch the next 10 minutes of the video, will be the trade from the beginning, but unfortunately, as I said, there's no sound on that. But I hope this gives you a brief overview as to the trade, the reasons for the entry and the reasons for the exit, and it will help you with your trading.